In this video, we're going to go through some more features other than just the video features for Discovery Education. I went ahead and pulled up a keyword search from the last video, war, and now let's go and look at media type. It gives us some other options. Most of us are just used to this view or listen, which the listen, it will include podcast recordings that are pretty neat. It also gives us this read tab. We're kind of used to this encyclopedia, kind of basic stuff. But then you have this interact piece, which this isn't a very big piece now, but it's growing based on subject. And then we have this teach piece. We see that we have these other resources, probably that we've never checked out. So it looks like here it pulls up a few things. So it works the same as videos. We can save it to our quick list. We can go down here and add to the content, or we can assign to our class or a student. But if we really want to view it, which I would suggest viewing anything beforehand before you give your students, which I'm sure you would do, but don't just assume based on the content that it's going to be quality. So we pull this up. As you can see, some of the things might not show up the best. Some of the fonts don't show up that great, but it does kind of give us this good preview for the way it's going to look. If we don't really like that, then there are other things that we can use. This one in particular, if we look at it, I'm thinking, you know what, some of these things we just can't read, probably not the best thing. So we can just close it out and move on. And then we have this, content collection. We get to see this investigation. And it walks us through these different things. It's actually a lesson already put together for you. So really you can pick and choose what you want to use, but it has video segments, it has reading, has listening. It really kind of hits those main points of best practice. Now, let's get into some of the more advanced features in Discovery Education up here at the top. We have my content that I've already gone through, but then these builder tools. These allow you, for one, you can build your own assignment, but these next two are pretty neat. We have a quiz builder, which means you can build a quiz, but also include video for the students to view beforehand, or different readings for the students to view beforehand. So if you have a lot of content, the reading piece of Discovery Education that you want your kids to use, then you can do that. And then the writing prompts, especially if you're in a writing heavy area where it requires written response. This is a great tool because you can build in scaffolding to help your kids out. So you can put in video, you can put in reading, anything really you want to include from Discovery Education, you can build into that writing prompt. And then the board builder. I'll go ahead and show this to you. It's pretty neat. It's kind of like your classroom board. So let's say I just want a notebook theme. And then just going to label this test. Not going to put a description. We're just going to go ahead and start this and save it. I can actually assign this to individual classes. It works similar to Google Classroom. Google Classroom, I think, is a better learning management tool. For this, it's not bad. You can play around with it if you want to. It's kind of neat if you're into this setup of Discovery Education. And then really the other thing I wanted to show you was this can integrate into your Google Classroom. If I go back and pull up any of these videos or assignments, for example, this one, it gives me this list of options and I can share. And you're going to see social sharing. If you have a Google Classroom set up, it automatically has this. So I can share this to my classroom and it pulls up to my classroom for me to choose a class, and then I can create an assignment, make an announcement. If I'm just wanting them to view the video, then I can just make an announcement. But it actually gives me the option to go ahead and create a full assignment. And this works just like you were creating an assignment in Google Classroom. Now, if you don't want to quite create this assignment yet, you can save it as a draft. And then when you go back into your classroom, it'll be there for you to pick up on, especially if you want to add more to it. But I thought that was a neat thing to go ahead and integrate that in if you don't have your classes put in, but you want to push stuff like that to your Google Classroom, you can. And that should go for really any of these different types of media. Let's say I click on the encyclopedia and I want to share that. I can always share it to my Google Classroom. So really it gives you two options. If you don't want to do a whole lot of class setting up in Google Classroom or in Discovery Education, but you've already gotten it in Discovery or in Google Classroom, then it gives you the option to push assignments into your classroom. One thing with your builder tools, most of these you can go to My Content, but really most of these are going to be best saved if you actually do it in here, because it gives you the option for social sharing, but it takes you right back into Discovery Education. So it's really up to you, but it's kind of just a neat option in case you weren't aware of that.